Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Bitcoin Ethereum report for Wednesday the 30th of June, and starting with this crypto index here. There's quite a few different crypto indexes. I think this is the top 10, so the weight will be to the top 10, of course. So that would be Bitcoin and Ethereum taking up most of this. So the question we have with the markets, with the crypto market, is that do we have a low in place here? It feels like it, but we need to gather evidence to confirm that. So from this leg, from the top here down to the bottom here, in this case, this is the 50 and 61.8% retracement level here, close to the 15,000. So the 15,000 will probably carry more weight than the 61.8%. So we could probably imagine this going to the 15,000 here, which is the medium level, halfway between two major levels, 10 and 20. So it is the balance point in the market for this particular index. Now, to have a low in place, we need to see an impulse wave to the upside. So in this case, we could use this one here. It's quite a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. We could look at it as 5 waves. This is not a very clear 5 waves in all cases with markets. Some of them look like 3 waves up. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, this one. So as a corrective move to the upside, it wouldn't matter if it was in 3 waves or 5 waves in this first leg here. And after that, we'd get an A and a B and a C wave here. So then we need to come over to this leg here and we say to ourselves, well, okay, after 5 waves, an impulse wave, then anything beyond the impulse wave to the upside, then that would confirm that it's bullish at that point. So that's where we're at, and that's what we were talking about yesterday. So looking at this here as an impulse wave here. So it looks like it's still impulsing to the upside. It hasn't really broken out of any trend channel or something to create that sort of, move down, which could be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave, pulling back to its 50-60% retracement level. So if we just pop this in here roughly, we can do this with the other indices as well. Let's just take that a little bit higher. Oh no, I'll just take it to there at the moment in case that is the top. You can make the adjustments. So then it's plausible for this market, this 5-wave structure up here as an impulse wave, to move back in 3 waves to the 50-60% retracement level and then move up from that point. But the tricky bit at the same time is that, well, it could just consolidate here for a while and then continue to the downside at that point. But what this does is it does give us, when we'll look at this on this one here, the closest largest number is 13,000 here. So we could say that on this index here, if the 13,000 became the retested resistance, then it would be bearish at that point. So I think that's important to know. And of course, what we're looking for on the upside is, well, support on the 15,000. And we'll have a look at where that is on other markets, that balance point. But in a nutshell, we're looking for 5 waves up through here. Once those 5 waves are finished, then we should see an ABC pattern here. And then it's after that ABC pattern, then we can look to go long above the small B wave top here for that. That would confirm that we're bullish at that point. Of course, the top would also do that, but this little B, this A, B, and C here, this B wave would come first. So that would be the safe trade. That at that point, it would tell you that we're actually going up at that point. And if we're going up, well, then we'll go up to, in this case, the old highs here, 18,000, 20,000 in this case. And then we would look at this as wave 1 here. We could label it as so, or we could anyway, we'll check with Bitcoin and Ethereum at this point. So we'll just move that out of the way. So it's really the same sort of story here as well. It's that, well, do we have a low in place here? I can count this in 2 different ways. It doesn't really matter. But do we have this low in place here? That was really the thing. So let's just go in and have a look at this in a couple of different ways, first of all. So we You can look at it like this with the A wave here and ABC for the B wave here, and then going up for the C wave here for the B, and then coming down for the C wave here. Now you may not agree that this C wave is coming down from this point, but that's okay. Once we move up into this space, we'll count all our waves and get all our ducks in line and so on, and there'll be at some point there where it'll tell us if we're right or we're wrong. And we won't be missing it by much, I can assure you. And if it's going to be bullish at that point, well then we'll be on that side of it. But just as a natural, this is pretty much how all the crypto markets have been, you know, or Bitcoin, going back over the years, has this sort of, you know, larger ABC pattern here after a big move. So yeah, it's probably correct. We can count it, like I mentioned, we can count it in different ways. This is another way to count it here, probably not correct, but an A wave here, an A, B, C for the B wave here, then 1 and 2 and 3 here and 4 here, pulling back to the fourth wave of 1 lesser degree here, which it is a little bit high, I grant you that, but it hasn't overlapped wave 1, so it's still in play. So it could be an A wave, a B wave and a C wave coming up to that point and failing at that point, and then moving down from that point. Or it could just be up for wave 1 here, back for wave 2 here, and then moving up higher. So once again, we need to understand this 5-wave structure in this space here for this. I'm just looking at both sides of the market. I think it's important we don't get locked in on one side without any evidence. That's the main point here. And in this case here as well, with this 5 waves up here, it's very difficult to see the 5 waves up here because we've got 1 and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here and 5 here. So it's like this has been truncated here, because when we looked at the crypto index, that moved up higher than that. So you can see this move here moved up higher. So in this case, we get 5 waves, but not in Ethereum. But we know, looking at the Ethereum Bitcoin cross, that Ethereum has been weaker than in a weaker situation than Bitcoin. So we would look to Bitcoin's upward movements more so than Ethereum's movements as such. So just drilling in here a little bit more with Ethereum. Coming off the low here, you see it a little bit more so here. There's really only 3 waves here for this. You know, I mean, to count this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, I don't know. Just it doesn't feel right to me. You know, being a so-called professional, it's really stretching the envelope a little bit. There's 2 things here. We've got overlapping wave structures, 1, and 2 here. We've got truncated 5th wave here. So it's more likely that we're in 3 waves here. So there's a good case that this move up is corrective, put it that way. It's just as valid as being a bullish move up. I am having a little bit of trouble counting these structures here, but what I kind of concluded a little bit is that even in this last little leg here, it just feels that there's one more top to be made here for this. If I'm wrong, then we'll just come down from this point. We'll have a little rally and we'll come down from that point. But either way, what we're trying to do here is really just sort of break out from our trend channel, so to speak. So we're still really in that trend channel. So we must still be in the bullish move at that point. Once we break out of that trend channel, then we know that we have a top in place, and it'll either be could be a wave 1, it could be a wave 3, it could be wave C here, but we do need that top in play. That's at the 61.8% at 2.3 in this case. So this is what we were talking about yesterday, really, was really just waiting for this top to come into play, and then we'll just watch the move here as a corrective move. And yeah, well, we have to, if that's the case, then this will be the A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave here. And that means we can go long above the B wave high here. We may be able to get a better position than that. But at the same time, you know, this doesn't really produce a nice impulse wave here. So we have to consider it that it may be bearish at this particular point in time, you know. Of course, it could get a bit more uglier than this as well, because if we're going back to, say, the 6-hour chart here, then we're looking for wave, if this is correct here, as wave C here, we should really be looking for a nice 5-wave move here. That's what we should be looking for, if that's the case. And then we'll have an ABC at that point, and we can either go further up at that point or we come down for the C wave at that point. But going from B to C here, we need 5, and we're just not getting that on the first instance here with this. When we have a look at this with Bitcoin, yeah, this is Bitcoin here. So the same thing off its low here. We can have a look at the bigger picture in a moment, but off the low here, to get 5 waves up here, we could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but wave 3 is a bit short, I guess. And wave 4 overlaps here. It just doesn't feel right. I mean, maybe we could look at it as wave 1 here, and an A wave here, and an A, B, C for the B wave, and then down for the C wave here, for wave 2 in that case. You know? It could be something weird like that. I'm sort of open to it, but what I thought, you know, what we talked about yesterday was the same thing. We just needed to count 5 waves up here. We're at the 61.8% mark here. It's just touched in nicely there yesterday. I do think there's another little high here, but you know, it could be proven wrong just based off this low here. We can have a look on the tick chart. So I thought there might be one more little move up here before we get our corrective move back down again. And I don't even know if it's an ABC just yet. We don't know that yet. You know, all we can do is we talked about taking the B wave high out here for that, or drawing a line through here. We can go that way as well, and we can do a few things, but the main point here is that this market is still, you know, still in its trend channel here. It hasn't, you know, it hasn't broken out of it. So yeah, so this could be counted differently here. We could probably put, you know, I know that most people would probably just look at wave 1 and wave 2 in this space here for this, and then look at wave 3 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the third wave, fourth wave, and fifth wave coming into play, rather than pulling it apart in here. But I will just go to the tick chart and have a bit of a look, because as I mentioned yesterday, it really all boils down to this particular structure. So yeah, it can be this is what we're counting as 5 waves up here. It can be counted differently. I've got wave 1 here and 2 here, but it looks a little bit small. Then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave, fourth wave. And then I've been counting up here, and even if I've got it wrong, I mean, it looks bearish at this point, but from here, I've got an A wave, a B wave, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the C wave here. So I have to look at this as wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 here. There is a possibility that I can bring wave 4 all the way, this wave 4 all the way over here. That would change the game a little bit at that point. So I'll leave that up to you to work out. But then counting these up as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, I just feel that there's more to go to the upside here for this, till we get up to the top here. So I still think there's a little bit more. I've probably overdone it a bit here, but if this just breaks down from this point here, if we get a clear break here, then you know that we're on our way at that point. Otherwise, we can look up to the 38,000 for Bitcoin, and then look for that ABC pattern here. You know, this may be in line with stocks as well at this point, with the indices. So just drilling back out here a moment without that. So I'm sorry to be sort of so confusing about all of that, but it just makes us focus on what's gathering that evidence at that point. So in the bigger picture for Bitcoin, we can look at it in two ways. We can look at it, well, first of all, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. So if that is the case, and we're taking it from the top there, then we have 5 waves here. That means we'll get an A and a B and a C back up for the B wave and down for the C wave. I might be able to drop it 1 degree smaller, but that would be there. What we're concerned about at the moment is from this top here to this low here, the 61.8% back to this point here. This could just make this wave 1 here and back for wave 2 here, and then looking for wave 3, 4, and 5 here. So there's not enough evidence in here in Elliott terms to confirm that we're actually going higher at that point. The other count for this, though, in terms of a more bullish count, will be the expanded flat correction with wave 3 here, an A wave, a B wave, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 C wave here, and then we just continue to move up higher at that point. It's possible, but like I say, we just need to gather evidence, and what we're trying to do at the moment is just to work on this particular low here for this, to see if that low's in place. And it's not like we got the perfect 5-wave structure to the upside in this first leg here. So what we're doing in this case is we'll go to the next leg here, and after this 5 waves is done and dusted, let's see if it falls back down at this point, or just comes down to an ABC to the 50-60% retracement level, and then moves up beyond that high. When it gets that high in place here, then that will tell us that we're bullish at that point. It will tell us that we're bullish to the point of this scenario here going back up closer to the 50,000. So we've got to still get past this. We need to, you can look at your indicators and volume and those sorts of things, and give you sort of some idea. But in the actual fractal patterns, it hasn't given us any evidence yet that we're in the bullish move to the upside. It's looking good because we're actually moving up, which is nice, and we're above the balance point. The 35 was the balance point for all of this. This was just another count here, just simple, the A wave here with an A here, and an A and a B and a C for the B wave, and then up for the C wave here for that count. This one here is a bit different as well. This is pretty sort of simple as well in terms of wave 3 here with an A, B, C, D, and E here for a triangle pattern, wave 4 down for wave 5, making a new low here. So there's a good case for a low being in place. It's just that we're not seeing a lot of evidence, So this would have to be, if we were bullish here, then it would be a bit of a case with wave 1 here, wave 2 here, copy that, put that wave 1 there, wave 2 there, change that there to a smaller wave 1 at that point, and coming back for wave 2. So we need that wave. We don't even have that wave 2 top in play yet. I mean, this wave 1 in top yet. So we need that. We need to confirm that might just drop straight from here, or there may be another little push up to 38, and then the ABC pattern. But we need that. We need this ABC pattern here. That's what we need. And then we can take the top of the B wave out to go long. That point confirms that at least it gets us up, closer to the 50-60% retracement level up here somewhere. So that's what we need to confirm it. I know you have your feelings and your thoughts about it, and that's all good, but my job is to gather the evidence, and because this first wave structure here is not clear, it could be corrective in a lot of cases, like Ethereum, like I've just shown. So that means we need to move over to the second wave structure, and we need that to top out yet. It's a little bit of a tricky count up through here. So, I was thinking like earlier in the week that we should be able to get this correction should come, on the Wednesday and Thursday. And so Thursday afternoon, Friday morning, all that sort of stuff in the bullish weekly cycle. So the Friday, Monday would trigger us to the long side at that point, if indeed it was going longer at that point, because there's a case for it to move lower at this point. And if it does move lower, in the case of Bitcoin here, well, then we would have to look at this as wave 1 down here, and then we'd have to look at this as wave 2 because it's pulled back to the 50-60% retracement level, and then we'd have a wave 3, 4, and 5. I know you might say that's impossible and anything, but when you've been around the markets, you know, for a good 20 years or 30 years, you'll know that nothing's too high, nothing's too low. Okay, so look, not a lot of improvement on yesterday. We're just simply looking for this structure here, this impulse wave to complete, and or find the 61.8% here as the tested support. That would also be helpful as well. So I think by probably another 2 sessions and we'll be ready to go. Alrighty, cheers.